Recently, I shared a list of my top books, and the biggest thing that I got after I shared that was, how do you read books? What's your process of reading books? And that's what I wanted to share with all of you today. So one is, I spend about 30 to 45 minutes every day reading books. And that's it. I'm not that voracious reader that will spend 2 to 3 hours reading a book. I'm definitely not the one who completes a book in one sitting. I don't think there's any book that I've completed in one sitting that captured my imagination and my attention so much. I like to pace my books. And that's why I would read first thing in the morning. I would read about 30-35 minutes. And I will skim. I'm not a fast reader, but I have the ability to skim. I will not read every single sentence. I will skim because I will try to get the gist of what this page, this chapter is trying to get to me. And in that process, I will constantly keep asking myself this question: is this book capturing my attention? Is this book earning my time? Is this book genuinely written in a way that fascinates me? Because a big mistake that I think people make is when they buy a book, they feel like they have become the servant to the book, that they have to read the book irrespective of how the book feels. And that, I feel, is the wrong way to think about it. The right way to think about this is that the book is your slave. The book has to earn the right to capture your attention. The book has to interest you. And that means that the book has to fight hard to get to a point where you like it. And if you don't like it, you leave it. And that doesn't mean you left it for life. It means you left it for that moment. You could come back to it next week, next month, next year, next whenever, maybe never. But you basically shut down that book at that point of time and say, hey, this book is not giving me what I want right now, and I'm not going to do it. And I skim. I read it first on the Kindle, and I take a lot of highlights. I don't make notes, but I just highlight all the sections that I like. And I then, at the end of the book, so typically most books are between 3 to 5 hours long at average reading speeds, not like super fast. I'm not a fast reader myself. And with the skimming and the 30 to 45 minutes that I spend every day, I can mostly cover a book in a week, which seems like a lot, right? If I tell you I read a book a week, it's like, oh, crazy, that's absolutely crazy, I'd love to do that. But it's not rocket science. It's actually not hard. You can skim through it. You can spend 30 to 45 minutes every day as a discipline, and you will cover about 3.5-4 hours of reading time, maybe even 5 in a week. And that's okay. And once I read the book, I then, through Kindle, create a PDF of all the highlights, and that's what I refer to. And I do that after a week or so, because your memory acts in such a way that when you're consuming the content, it has the first imprint. And then if you follow it up after a week or so with a second refresh, the imprint becomes stronger. It tends to remember it even more. If you come back to it later, it works even better. And the books that I really like, then I order a physical copy of it, and that rests in my bookshelf, wherever it is. The other piece, which is very important, is read books that you want to read, not what you think will look good in front of the world. Because reading is a habit. If you read books that you love, you will fall in love with reading. If you read books that you love, you will fall in love with reading. And that's the best thing. If you want to read comics, read comics. You want to read fiction, read fiction. You want to read something light, start with that. And if you do that consistently over a period of time, you will just fall in love with reading. And that will help you then graduate to anything else, any other form of reading that you want to get to. But don't read heavy books because it will make you look cool. That's the wrong way of approaching it. If you're someone who's beginning to read, if you're someone in your 20s who feels that reading is a great investment to make, and I would 100% absolutely recommend that, then start with things that you would love to read. Doesn't matter. It could be Chetan Bhagat, it could be Tinkle Comics, it could be Archie's, it could be literally anything that you've never picked up but now have started reading because you enjoy it. And you do that consistently over a period of time, you just fall in love with the concept of reading. And that then drives you towards higher and higher things. And always remember, the book has to earn your attention. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that whenever we put up a new video, you're aware of it.